everyone. Eric from Country Living Experience. One of the big things that we decided to do a few years ago now was get ourselves out of debt, stop being indebted to others. You know, the Bible tells us that you're a slave to your debtor. And that is really, really true. We had a lot of credit card debt. We had various credit cards, you know, to just purchase things that we did need at the time. You know, we bought a house. We didn't have appliances, so we went and we got the credit card from the store that you know, gives you a discount. Loaded that thing up with appliances. We got, sorry, the birds are waking up this morning and playing in the trees here. It's a really beautiful thing to hear. We needed to redo the floor in our house, so of course we went to the good old lumber liquidators, and we got some nice flooring for the home. The home had carpet in it and dogs, and we didn't want our daughter crawling around on the doggy carpet. It did stink a little bit, but the house was beautiful. You know, we both had really good jobs, making pretty good money, and we had enough to pay the bills every month. But the credit card kept growing, and we had 2 cars with debt, you know, on them. Finally, we decided we can't do this anymore. I still have student loans. That's the one thing I haven't knocked out so far. We started paying down the smallest debt first, and you know, I got to mention that thanks to my mom, she paid down her debt years ago, and she bought me a book by a gentleman named Dave Ramsey. The book's called Total Money Makeover. And she saw that I was, you know, using credit cards a lot and spending a lot of money on frivolous things that I really didn't need. And I took the book from her and I said thanks, and you know, shoved it in the library and didn't read it. I think it probably took me 5 years to open that book up again, but what had happened was I was listening to a radio station to and from work, and who happens to come on at 2 o'clock in the afternoon with a radio show? It was Dave Ramsey. I was like, okay, I've heard of this guy before, I'll listen to him. Well, it opened my eyes up a lot, and I'm not going to go into his entire program, but I'm a huge proponent of it. Before we left the city to come to the country, I was preparing to teach one of his classes at our church, because I thought it was so, or I still do think it's so invaluable. The FPU, Financial Peace University, and that's very true. Once you have financial peace in your life, man, this is so calming. And I'm very appreciative for my mom getting me that book. But I read the book, and then came the second challenge, was getting my wife on board and having her read the book, which didn't happen for a little while, but she started to get into it, which was a blessing. So we started paying down our debt from the smallest amount owed, depending on the interest rate, didn't matter, to the largest amount owed at the bottom, which was our house. So we started what's called the Debt Snowball, and we got it rolling. And the way Dave sets it up, it's encouraging. So it's encouraging to see a debt that you've had for a while all of a sudden disappear, because you concentrate all your extra money all your wants money, not your needs money, but your wants money. Every extra piece, besides an emergency stash, every extra piece of cash that you can possibly find towards paying down that debt. And we started knocking out these different credit cards, one after the other. I was getting so excited. And then after we knocked out the credit cards came the vehicles. And wow, when I paid off my vehicle, that was a crazy feeling. I got to be honest with you, it was so exciting. And then, unfortunately, we had a lease vehicle with my wife. We actually had. I was incorrect earlier. We had the lease vehicle, which is a debt, because you're tied to the contract, and then you have to buy another vehicle at the end, or lease another vehicle at the end. We were blessed enough to be able to save enough money after paying off my vehicle to outright pay cash for her vehicle after the lease was over. And I'll give you a tip that, here's a bonus tip. Your lease vehicle at the end of its contract is worth a certain amount of money, and you can get it appraised. If you go to a dealership, not many dealers will even tell you this. Very few will tell you this. If you go to the dealership and have them appraise your lease vehicle, they can actually pay off that vehicle for you and give you back the difference for the amount owed on the vehicle if you're going to pay it off. I don't know if I explained that correctly. Maybe I'll do another video on that. But all in all, we had a really good guy help us out with getting over $1,000 back for my wife's lease vehicle, cash. We put it right towards the new vehicle that we purchased for her. Well, it wasn't a new vehicle. We don't need to buy new vehicles. We can't afford that. We bought a used vehicle. It was a very quality vehicle, in great condition. And you know, when I went to look for the vehicles, I'll talk about this a little bit more in future videos as well. There's certain things you want to look for. I have a base knowledge of auto mechanics that you can look for things that will help you find a good quality vehicle. So paying off our debt has been phenomenal for our move, and phenomenal for our psyche of not owing anybody anything. We're still not there yet. You know, I still have student loans. I've been out of school for grad school for 10 years, and I paid diligently on them. I actually paid ahead on them, but I had almost $100,000 in debt, and I've knocked that in half so far in 10 years, and I'm aggressively going after the rest. Now, I would have liked to have paid down the entire amount before we moved to the country, but we felt very impressed that now was the time to leave. The things we were seeing happen around us. I mentioned in another video that our daughter, we weren't raising our daughter. We'd see our daughter for 2 hours a day after we got home from work and picked her up from daycare, and that was just not acceptable anymore to us. And now we get to see her all day long. It's pretty fantastic. Well, I do anyway. My wife has found a job. But that debt that I have remaining is a small payment. I was very fortunate to consolidate at the right time, get a good interest rate on it, so the payment's quite small. But we're still aggressively paying that off. So this is one of the steps that all of you need to take in order to start your journey and start to move out to the country. It's going to free you up to spend time on your homestead, spend time with your family, and most importantly, spend time with God. It's a blessing. If you have any questions for me, leave them in the comment section below. I'm going to put a link to Dave Ramsey's book and his website because I think it's invaluable. Are there other ways to do it? Yes. Are more people disciplined than others? Yes. But this one I found to be very, very good, very effective. Anyway, give us a thumbs up. Thank you, and have a great day. Everyone, when you are trying to make the transition from moving to the city to the country, there's a lot of things you have to think about, and one of those things is unshackling yourself from your debt. And we've been blessed to be able to move forward on that. And Dave Ramsey systems are just one of many, like I said, but it was a great blessing to us, and it really broke things down for us in a way that we could easily understand, and gave us a lot of insight as to why you really need to get out of debt. But I think that's really important for us right now as we make this transition, and so that we have a lot more to work with in the future, and we don't have to worry about proximity of our land to specific jobs. We can be more independent, and that's the whole idea. So if you have any comments or questions for us, please leave them in the comment section below. We'd appreciate a thumbs up. It really helps our channel, and we'd love for you to subscribe as well. So thank you, everyone. Have a great day.